Hello and welcome to my next video on how to beat beginner bot series. So I'm going to have a beginner playing the Juan bot on chess.com. He's playing with the white pieces. And he plays e4, and he plays h5, which is not a good move. You need to be playing for the center. White plays knight f3, and black plays knight c6, and then he trades his bishop off for the knight and opens up black's queen, but does win a pawn because a bishop is worth more than a knight because you can cover way more squares on an open board. White can threaten checkmate right now with the queen. If queen f3 would threaten checkmate on the black king with queen takes f7, and black misses it and is checkmate for the beginner. So we're gonna play another match because that only lasted 7 moves, not even 10 moves. We're gonna play him again. Playing with the white pieces again. e4, standard stuff. Knight a6. Not a good move. You need to be putting your knights for the center. Knight h6. You don't want to move a piece twice in the opening like what Brandon's doing. And he misses checkmate the same way again, but it's not checkmate because he hangs the queen.
I didn't see that.
And now Juan just up a queen for a pawn. Devastating for the beginner.
Wow, that is just sad.
Okay, now the pawn is pinned. He needs to develop his knights and his bishops before he can start an attack. But he doesn't have a queen, so it's going to be so hard to attack the king. The attack on the king decreases when there's no queen because the queen is the most powerful piece, and it's a very good attacking piece. And white defends the pawn with the knight. Black moves the king. He's trying to develop his other pieces. And black loses the defender. White loses the defender of the pawn, but now his knight's in danger. And he hangs the knights. He might lose to this 400 bot. White cannot take the pawn because it's pinned to the king. Tries to, but pushes it and hangs the pawn. But it is not captured. Moves the king again. That's moving the king. White decides to try to move the bishop out, but instead moves the pawn, attacking the knight, and hanging the pawn, which would give a check, but black just hangs the knight, but black does take a pawn. I know the queen is hanging! The queen, oh no, it's not hanging actually. The queen, I thought the queen was hanging, but no, it's not. Now the queen is under fire. And it is not captured, and Juan is only up 1 point of material, aka a pawn. And white gives a check with the bishop. Might have a mate somewhere, maybe a pawn check. Yep. And the rook is sacrificed, and the pawn is not captured. Could have been captured, but it wasn't. He makes a backwards bishop move, not really doing anything. Maybe trying to go for a mate somehow. Not really a good plan for white. He just needs to find a mate somehow. Not really easy to do though. He gives a check, protected by the bishop. He could take a pawn and give another check with the rook that's over there. And that's what he does, luring the king farther into the center where it's more mobile, but it's more mobile. Now you can give a check with the bishop, maybe, or a rook check or something. He takes a pawn. Not a check though, but black just takes a pawn. And so now he can give a check with the bishop. And he needs to save his rook. The rook is in danger. And he doubles up his rooks. Smart choice. Let's see what he tries to do. He takes a pawn. Now he has a passed pawn. It would be really nice if he could trade rooks. Because if he could trade rooks, even give up a rook to trade the rooks, like he could sacrifice 2 rooks for 1 rook because he has a passed pawn right there. And he takes a pawn, not attacking the bishop because it is defended by the rook, but actually it can be captured because the rook is the only thing defending that rook. So the bishop could have been captured, and when the rook captures, the king could have captured the rook. But no 400 bot is going to see that. And white is just completely winning in this position. He's up the exchange, and he's up the exchange and has a bishop for 2 pawns. But it isn't over for black. Yeah, the bishop can actually be captured because once the rook has captured the bishop, then when the rook captures, the rook would be in danger, so he has to go there because now the rook cannot take the bishop. But actually, now he needs to stop the pawn, but he can't. Now he can just push it because the rook defends it, but it cannot be captured. He needs to put a rook behind the pawn. He needs to bring the rook back. He needs to bring the rook behind the pawn and try to stop it. And now the bishop could have been taken, but it is not. This is a crazy matchup.
Such a hard time.
See what white decides to do. Could move a rook behind the pawn would be a good choice, stopping the pawn and threatening. And now he pushes. He cannot do anything because it's defended. It is actually there's no way to stop it from promoting, and now Juan has the advantage from a totally losing position. But it isn't over. It isn't over.
Aww.
And the beginner gets checkmated by Juan, even though he did checkmate Juan the first time. And I hope the first game gave you an idea of how to find checkmating tactics and how to make sure that if a knight is on the rim, it protects the f7 square. Just remember that. And until we do the next spot, goodbye.